If access to high-rated schools is on your priority list for your next home here in San Diego, then this video is for you. I'm going to go over everything you need to know in the next, let's say 8 to 10 minutes. Let's see how close I am to that prediction. My name is Dan Parker with the Best Life Home Team, your San Diego real estate resource. I make videos about real estate, life, and local news here in San Diego. And I get this request a lot. Dan, I want to move to San Diego. I want to buy a house in San Diego. And whether we have kids or we have future plans for kids, we want to ensure that we're in a good school district and know what we need to know about schools and school ratings and where we need to live. And this is usually how it starts out. This is what most people think is, I need to be in the highest rated school districts throughout San Diego County, which is a very novel idea. There are some amazing and some very high rated schools here in San Diego County, but the highest rated school districts, the homes that are located in the highest rated school districts around the county, also happen to be some of the most expensive homes throughout San Diego. So budget is going to have a huge consideration for your next home. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Now, I like Redfin when it comes to schools because they have an integration with greatschools.org. Now, this is going to help you, especially in these early research phase, to figure out what neighborhoods make the most sense, and especially to avoid, let's say, the lowest rated school districts in San Diego County. So if you go onto Redfin, you go into all filters here, you can see there are 1,700 homes they're showing active in these parts of San Diego. And if you scroll down, there is a school rating here. So this is greatschools.org rating. You can pull this to wherever you want. Let's just show you 9 out of 10. And we're going to select elementary, high school, and middle. And the total number of homes goes down to 254. Specifically, the areas that are going to show the most homes are going to be these North County coastal areas. Carlsbad up here. And then you also have kind of Rancho Santa Fe, Fairbanks Ranch, Del Mar, Carmel Valley, all of these areas. And what you can notice here is, just like I was saying, a lot of these areas are going to be very expensive homes. So you're seeing a lot of $2+ million properties, which is obviously not in everybody's budget. So this is a great place to start. Usually what I recommend on Redfin is maybe starting off by, let's start with maybe not a 9, but let's just try and avoid the lowest ranked schools. So maybe let's pull this down to a 7 or a 6 and then see what pops up. There's going to be a lot more available. So we're at about 1,000 homes now, and you can start to see what areas are going to make the most sense for you. This is just getting started with a search to start to preliminary decide what areas are going to make the most sense. We're going to get into a lot more from here. And before we get much farther, I want to show you one more resource that is going to help you a lot when you're trying to figure out what neighborhoods are going to make the most sense. Niche.com is a wonderful website that utilizes all sorts of ranking systems from crime and safety and schools and all these different things for the different neighborhoods throughout San Diego County. Now, you can kind of take it with a little bit of a grain of salt as far as what the exact rating is, but again, this is going to help you start to figure out what neighborhoods are going to be the ones that you should start looking at, and also what neighborhoods are going to be the neighborhoods I want to avoid. And so 2023 best school districts in San Diego County, you do have a lot of North County school districts here. So San Dieguito in Encinitas, Poway, Coronado, Carlsbad, San Marcos, Grossmont Union. So all of these are a rating on their website. I'm going to include this website down below so you can take a look for yourselves. San Diego Unified School District, Sweetwater and Chula Vista. And if you look throughout this entire list, there are school districts throughout San Diego County. So it's not necessarily just one area versus another, but if you want to find the highest rated school districts in the county, again, this is a great place to start. So the next thing you want to ask yourself, especially if you are having a difficult time finding homes that fit within your budget, within the school districts that you ideally want to be in, is what does your timeline realistically look like? And by that, what I mean is, realistically, are you 10 years or more before your child is going to be in high school? If so, and you are only planning to live in your house for 5 to 7 years, then maybe the high school rating is not the most important out of all of them. So you can focus more on elementary or middle schools. And a lot of the areas that have the school districts that have the highest ratings throughout San Diego County, most people are focusing on the high schools themselves, not the middle schools, not the elementary schools. So it might be worth considering a slightly less ranking on some of those schools if it makes sense for your timeline. And of course, this isn't a one size fits all. You have to figure out what makes the most sense for you and for your family. So now let's talk specific strategies. You've started to do the research of what areas make sense. Now here's what I recommend, especially if you're looking to buy a home, but also if you're looking to rent a house, is just do a general search in San Diego County and figure out what areas are within your budget. Now you can start to backtrack. San Diego County is a very large county. We have 3.35 million people here, and I don't want to get into all the specifics on every single school district, but if you start by figuring out what areas fit within your budget, it might be a little bit more limited than you originally think. Then when you take a look at those neighborhoods that fit within your budget, cross-reference them with the neighborhoods on Nichecom and Redfin's searching with greatschools.org. Usually it's not very difficult between these two things and whatever other considerations that you have for your search here in San Diego to come up with 3 to 4 distinct neighborhoods, communities that make the most sense for you and for your family. And once you have those neighborhoods, you can start your search. And if the housing market is anything like it is today while I'm filming this video, you want to have at least a few different communities within your search because there are so few homes for sale and for rent. So you've done the research, you've started your search, now you have to get on to the due diligence phase, and you have to figure out if greatschools.org is actually being accurate with these school districts. This means figuring out what enrollment looks like, what the zoning is like for you to get access to a specific school or school district. Now, greatschools.org is a great place to start, but it's not always 100% accurate. Look, they're trying to figure out for every single school across the US who gets access to each of those schools, and it's never going to be right 100% of the time. The only way to figure this out is to pick up the phone and call the schools. And I've had clients who do this before getting offers accepted or doing it after they get offers accepted. But the main thing is, if you're very specific on a school or school district that you want to be in, you have to do the work. It's not all just going to be online. You have to pick up the phone and call the school and find out whether it makes sense or not. Now, I've had clients in the past that literally have called dozens of schools before even submitting their first offer to truly know where they can get access and where they can't. And that helped them make their decision down the line. But more often than not, what a lot of my clients are doing is they're utilizing greatschools.org, they're utilizing Redfin, they're utilizing niche.com to figure out what makes the most sense on paper. And then because the housing market is so challenging, once they get an offer accepted is when they pick up the phone and call these schools to make sure that they can get enrollment into that school. And of course, if you are looking for a home here in San Diego with access to whatever you need here in San Diego, myself, the Best Life Home Team, we would love to help you out. My contact info is down below. I also have a link to a discovery session, which is a free 30-minute Zoom call where I can help you figure out what neighborhoods are going to make the most sense for you and for your family. But if you are still in the research phase, what I'd recommend is check out this video on the best suburbs in San Diego County and figure out if any of them might match your criteria. It's a good place to start. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.